Okay guys, so this is going to be part 2 of the introduction video. The first part is going to be me going over some of my favorite television shows and movies. So I'm really excited about that, so you kind of get a little peek into my world. It was really hard to narrow these down. There's quite a few here. I narrowed them down to a few between genres and different things like that. So bear with me. If you get bored, I'm sorry. This is just getting to know me a little bit, okay? So I definitely love horror movies. Like I said before, I helped run a haunted house and I have for over a decade. I always ask everyone what their favorite horror movie is, and mine consistently since I was a little boy, like I was like 9 years old, running around wearing a Michael Myers mask. So I love Halloween. I love the whole series. The only one that I would say is remotely bad to me is Resurrection, and I can still watch it. It doesn't bother me to watch it. I actually have a life-size Michael Myers in my living room. You'll probably see it someday. Another great show, in my opinion, is it's actually ending. It's going to be the last season starting in April, and that's Game of Thrones. Another show that I can turn on, even if it has background noise, that's Family Guy. But it's always been pretty funny to me, and it makes a lot of pop culture references. I also like a lot of paranormal stuff. Some shows don't do it for me. My favorite is Ghost Adventures. I just like how 3 dudes go to haunted places in it. I'm a bigger fan of the earlier seasons because now it's kind of, I don't know, it's different, but when it was just 3 friends that went to places, it was a pretty good show. And I hope to actually, not on that level, but do some urban exploring and maybe explore some possibly haunted places in the future. This one's an older show, and some people probably can't understand me being a younger person why I would like it, but I love this show. And I made it a point to own the series, and it's a short series, but The Monsters. And what's cool is I go to a haunted house trade show, and I've actually met Eddie Monster. I have a photo with him. I have a signed picture on my wall over there. I'll definitely show you sometime. I definitely think a majority of people like this show. If you don't, I'm sorry. I like it. Stranger Things. I love it. She's badass. I collect pop figures. I'll show you those too at some point throughout this introduction. I own a lot of Stranger Things pops, but I have several of the 11 figures, different styles, so definitely love that. Another show that's no longer on the air, but it was still one of my favorites, and when I list them is Nip Tuck. It kind of got crazy towards the end, but I mean, I still watch, you know. I'm a trooper. I'll stick with a series till the end. I'm not one of those people who are like,
I'm gonna stop watching.
No. If you're one of those people, whatever. But, you know, I believe in loyalty, and I'm sticking it through. I'm seeing it through. If it ends bad, it ends bad. But so one of my favorite, we can call it sagas now, at this point. The most recent one caused a great divide, but is Star Wars. I love all the Star Wars movies. I don't care what you have to say about the prequels, The Last Jedi, what you have to say, I like them all. I don't know what happened between one decade and the other, but I remember when the prequel trilogy came out, everyone was on board, they loved it, and all of a sudden it became this popular thing to hate them, and people did it. I don't get on that train, I'm sorry. So I love them all, even Jar Jar Binks. So the next two I'm going to show together, there's a reason that they're my favorites, and one of my favorite comedies of all time is Mrs. Doubtfire. I take a copy of this whenever I travel, because no matter what, I've watched this probably hundreds of times. No matter what's going on, if I'm having a bad day, I can pop this movie in and laugh my ass off, and I feel good. So I love Robin Williams. I was devastated when he passed away, and like sobbing uncontrollably. I had to pull my car over because I was that upset when I found out that he was dead. Favorite Disney movie is Aladdin, and again, it's because of Robin Williams. Genie is my favorite Disney character. I love this movie. I'm not too thrilled, we'll get into that in another video, but I'm not too thrilled about this live action remake that they're doing right now, but that'll be a discussion for one of my other videos when I have a guest to discuss that with me. So this is one of my favorites. It's a classic, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. If you haven't seen this, please watch it. They had a show about it recently, Feud with Ryan Murphy. Like, Bette Davis is freaking psycho in this movie, and it's great. It's pretty long too, so but check it out. So starting out at a young age, I became obsessed with Charlie Chaplin. So I own a lot of Charlie Chaplin films. This is just one that has a lot of his shorts in it, but it has one of my favorite movies on it too, and that's The Kid. It's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Silent films, you know, if it's not your thing, it's fine. But this movie is, I mean, you can see the emotions without them saying words. It's awesome. Charlie Chaplin plays the tramp, as he does in many of his films, who finds an abandoned child, or a child that gets lost, and takes him in, and he raises him for several years. And then the rich family, you know, finds him or whatever, and they take him away. It's a good scene when they take him. The kid doesn't want to leave Charlie. My two favorite superheroes are Wolverine and Punisher. Now, I really did like the Netflix show. I'm pissed off that Netflix canceled Punisher after season 2. I hope it gets picked back up because I was really skeptical about it, but I really like it. But my favorite Punisher movie is definitely this one here. That's the one with Thomas Jane as the Punisher. I love the Punisher just because he doesn't really have any powers or really money at first until he steals it from the mob, but he just is a tough guy with guns, and so I really like that. On the opposite end, I guess, is I like Wolverine. He's pretty much invincible, and he was my favorite X-Man. I think they did a really great job. I really liked it. This is probably my favorite out of the standalone Wolverine movies is Logan. It's sad, but I really liked it a lot. I think it wrapped up, you know, Hugh Jackman's role. I am hoping that he does make an appearance in a Deadpool movie, though. Fingers crossed if we get Deadpool. A lot of people my age don't like westerns. I do. Of course, I love John Wayne. I have several of his movies, but my favorite one is The Cowboys. I highly recommend you watch this. It's got a young Bruce Dern. You'll hate Bruce Dern if you watch this. It's just, he takes in a bunch of boys and kind of makes them man, like, you know, rides with them. But it's great. It's a great film. You should check it out. So, you know, a more modern western that I like. It was made in the early '90s, I think '94. But it's Tombstone. I love this movie. It's about the Wyatt Earp and his brothers, and of course Doc Holliday. It's got a great cast. Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday was awesome. I love Kurt Russell, but I quote it a lot, you know. So I'll be a Huckleberry. So I love Phantom of the Opera. It's probably one of my favorite musicals. I was going through some stuff in high school and I really related. And so if you haven't seen that, I recommend it. You should see it by now. This next one, if you haven't seen it, you know, you probably just need to leave my channel because the Rocky Horror Picture Show. If this is not in your collection, if this is not something you've seen, please see it. Watch it. I first saw this when I was 10 years old at my grandparents' house. It was on VH1. It was close to Halloween. I turned it on. I was like, what the f is this? And ever since then, I've loved it. Tim Curry is the greatest thing ever. He is a national treasure. So I have two holiday movies that I really enjoy. A Christmas one would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I watched this several times over the holidays. I don't watch it even when it's not Christmas, but it's hilarious. I quote it a lot. One of my Christmas cards one year was me dressed like Cousin Eddie because the share was full. That whole thing. Definitely need to watch it if you haven't. Besides the horror aspect, like a Halloween movie, one that you can watch with your whole family type deal, would definitely be Hocus Pocus. I cannot tell you enough how much I love Hocus Pocus. This is a masterpiece, and I treasure this. Since I was a little kid, I've loved this movie, and it has not lost any love for it. It's timeless, and I watch it every year. I watch it when it's not Halloween, just like the Christmas Vacation. I watch this when it's not Halloween. I love it that much. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is a documentary, and this documentary is fantastic. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I know I've said that for like every one of these because I love movies so much, so I'll say that a lot. Watch it. I'll give every movie a chance. There's not many that I'm just like disgusted by. There's a few that I won't watch again, but this is Grey Gardens, okay? And this is an awesome documentary. I recommend it. Little Edie Bill is hilarious in it, unintentionally, of course. There are some sad circumstances that her and her mother live in, but just her spirit and personality shine through this documentary, and it's awesome to watch that. Okay, so that's all. That's a few of the movies that I have. As you can tell, I do own a lot of movies. I think that was pretty good to narrow it down to those. Till next time.
Jordan oxymoron. Jordan oxymoron.